welcome to Grain by Grain Artist Stories. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yay! Okay, let's start off with an icebreaker. Between noodles, rice, and bread, what would you kiss, marry, and kill?
That is such a funny question.
Yeah.
I think I will marry rice
Okay.
because I love rice.
Yeah.
Kiss bread and kill noodles. But it's a very hard decision.
Choice.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I get that. I'm
Yeah.
similar. Yeah, but for me it's bread. Yeah, I would marry bread. Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you eat
Bread's
a
like
lot
a close second
yeah.
to rice. But I think I could do without bread.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have phases. Like sometimes I only want bread. But I think more time I want rice.
Yeah. How do you usually eat your rice?
Just like white rice, and then I'll have it with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Yay. Another one for bread and rice.
Yes.
Okay. So, first question. Tell me about your journey as an artist.
So I've always liked art growing up.
Yeah.
But I didn't take it that seriously until probably like later in high school. Like early high school, I really wanted to be a lawyer, which is so different. Yeah.
I cannot imagine you as a lawyer.
I was in the debate team for like a long time.
Wow.
But I also like English was my favorite subject. English and art were like my favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then the older I got, I was like, no, that's not for me, I fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always enjoyed drawing and other forms of art. I started like knitting and crocheting really, really young. Yeah, so I was very much like I don't like sticking to one thing. Like I'll draw for a few days straight and then I'll be like, actually I'm bored of that. And then I'll knit or crochet for a few days straight.
Yeah.
Finish a project and then go back. So I've always done that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, later in high school when it was like, okay, time to choose what you want to do in uni, I was like, maybe I'll go into graphic design because it's like really creative but still like a traditional job.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, and then I decided to do that. But obviously I'm not in a corporate graphic setting right now, but yeah, that's how like it kind of snowballed into where I am now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you first get introduced to drawing? Did you like take art classes or did you see someone else draw?
No. Like when I was really young, my dad, he just worked in like, he works in IT, but he works in like just a corporate building, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
just a corporate building.
Just like an office.
Yeah.
But his office, like we used to go with him every now and then, and his office had like, you know when offices have like a stationery area?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I used to like take a notebook and then take it home. And then I liked writing in it and I just always liked scribbling and keeping a book that I can like look back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have some of my earlier ones, which is so nice to like look back on.
Yeah.
Because it's like future stationery business and like things like that. But I was inspired by like Smiggle and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
So it was very like Smiggle core.
Yeah, I mean that's what we had back then.
Yeah, exactly.
To be inspired by.
Yeah, and then like really awkward like YouTube tutorials, like you know those how to draw with the really big anime eyes.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's always been around for me, but I never knew how to like turn it into something I could do more meaningfully. So yeah. But it's always been around. I don't know if that answered the question.
No, you did.
Yeah,
you did. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So now, like, you have your own small business. How did that start?
Okay, I'm like trying to think exactly how I started. Basically, as like the art friend, you tend to like, when it's like someone's birthday or whatever, you tend to like draw them like a picture of themselves or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember this was probably like year 11 or year 12, but it was one of my friend's birthdays coming up and she really liked like anime and stuff like that. Her favorite was Attack on Titan and her favorite character was Levi and like, you know, as you do. Yeah, so for her birthday, like I drew her and like Levi like standing together. So it was like, you know, a little thing. And then alongside that, I made her like her own like sticker sheet, but it was very like I just drew it, printed out, and then cut it with an X-Acto knife. Like it was very like whatever.
Yeah.
And even before that, like I used to like draw pictures and then cover them with contact paper and then
Yeah.
stick them onto different things.
Oh, wow.
Probably around the same, like year 11-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I did that and I was like, wait, if I can make this for her, I can make this for like other people as well.
Yeah.
So, and then I made like a few designs and just like Etsy, and I literally used to like cut them with an X-Acto knife. So it was a thicker sheet, but like hand cut.
That's crazy.
I know.
I can't
No.
imagine how do you even get like
I
a
didn't even-
smooth, like round?
No, it was literally crazy because I didn't even used to make like die cuts. It would be sticker sheets, but like X-Acto knifed.
That's crazy.
And then I was like, no, this is crazy. I need a Cricut machine. And then I got a Cricut machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like how I started, like just online. Yeah, and then I started markets and stuff. But I don't know if you want to talk about that now or.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about anything whenever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like how did you get started into markets?
Yeah. So that's a very interesting story as well because I didn't start with markets. Basically, when I was in probably like second year uni, I saw this artist in America who do like pop-ups. Like she'd do like pop-up at a boba store or like
That's so cute.
pop-up at a mall or stuff like that. And I was like, that's so cool. And then I like knew about the market scene, but not that much about it. And I'd applied for like the market at my uni.
Okay,
Like-
we have a market at our uni.
Yeah, but it's pretty recent, like after COVID, like they decided to do it.
Okay. I
Yeah.
graduated already.
Yeah, I know UTS has one
Yes,
every year, and then
yes.
UNSW has like, it's very on and off. Like sometimes
Yeah.
they have it and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I applied and I got in, but then it stormed, so it got cancelled, and I was like really upset. It like got rescheduled a few weeks later, but I was like really upset. So I was like, I'm gonna do a pop-up.
Yeah.
And then I reached out to like random shops like around Sydney, and I was like, can I like sell my stuff?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna name them because I don't know like if they were even allowed to say yes or whatever, but one did say yes.
Oh, nice.
So my first ever market, and I like dragged my friend Yari. I was like, let's sell in front of this random bubble tea shop,
Yeah.
like on a random Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they gave us like their round cafe tables, and we set like 3 of them
Wow.
up outside the store. And then it was so like not cute. But we were so happy and proud of it, like in the moment. Like in hindsight, looking at our like setups now, it's like so low fidelity. But yeah, it was everything. And then after that, I did the uni ones.
Yeah.
And then started doing other markets.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first one was like a random pop-up,
Yeah.
which
That's
is so funny
crazy.
because like I feel like now I'd be too scared to do something like that.
Yeah.
Like just reach out to a random company and be like, can I sell outside your shop?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know why I did that, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
So,
That's such
yeah.
an awesome start.
yeah.
Okay. Do you have photos of your
I
like,
do.
Oh my god, can you please send them
Yeah.
later? I want to see.
I do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So when did Momoona start? Was it when you
So
started
it was
the market?
it was around the same time. Actually, no. Like I've had this art account for a really long time. It used to have a different username, and then like I changed it to this one, to Momoona. Yeah, but it used to just be like it actually used to be a journal account because I thought I couldn't draw like properly enough.
Yeah.
Because I used to follow a lot of like anime and like artists and stuff like that, and my style just wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't really exposed to like the stationary art side of things,
Yeah.
which is way more me.
Yeah. That's okay.
If I touch this too much, will it like?
Yeah, people will hear it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it used to be a journaling account and a pen pal account,
Yeah.
and then
pen
that's
pal.
yeah.
How does that work?
There's like well, back then there was like hashtags on Instagram. It's like looking for like pen pal search or pen pal find, and then you'd find like other accounts.
Yeah.
And then you'd talk about it on Instagram, and then you'd be like, okay, I'll send you a letter.
That's so cute.
And then I think at one point I had like 8 or 9, like everywhere
around the world.
around the world.
That's so
yeah.
cool.
And I still follow like a few of them,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really fun. That was like where my love of like collecting stationery and stuff started.
Yeah.
Because you like collect it and then you like share it around with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah. And then when I started like wanting to table and going to artist alleys and stuff, then I started being like, oh, I don't have to draw super realistic or
Yeah.
super quote unquote good
Yeah.
to be able to draw what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I found myself like gravitating towards more simpler things. So yeah, but that's how that started.
Yeah.
It like really pushed once I did the pop-up and stuff because I had stuff to post about.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I see. That's nice. I'm glad you managed to like find your niche.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did Momoona come about?
Like my name.
Yeah.
My old username was my name, but then I was like, no, that's not cute enough. And then my last name is Qamar, which means moon in Arabic. So that's where Moona comes from. And I wanted it to be just Moona, but it was taken.
No.
I know. So
how dare they?
yeah, so Momoona is just like a
Yeah.
quirky little thing that wasn't taken, and it grew on me.
Yeah.
So I decided to keep it.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
it fits with Momo Art Market as
Yeah,
well.
which is so crazy because I run this market, right? And
Yeah.
people think that I named it after myself, but I didn't because Momo means peach in Japanese.
Yeah.
But it just happened to fit really well.
Yeah, it fits
Yeah,
really well. Yeah. Also, like, I still can't believe your real name isn't Moona. This whole time I thought your name was Moona. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just as well used as my real name. So,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. What's your real name?
My real name is Aisha.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't said that on the internet in a really long time.
Yeah.
But
Now everyone knows.
now everyone knows.
Yeah. So how did Aisha become Moona?
Aisha's still Aisha. Like my family calls me Aisha. A lot of my older friends, my high school friends, most of my in real life friends call me Aisha. But yeah, it's a super common name.
Yeah.
So, and growing up, I knew a lot of Aishas.
Yeah.
Like in my core high school friend group, there was like 3 of us.
Yeah.
And in my family, there's like 6, 7 of us.
Yeah.
So anytime like in school, in class, our teachers would be like, Aisha, and like all 3 of us would be like, yes.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like I'd go to like family friend parties with my friend and like somebody's mom would call us and then they'd be like, no, you, her. And it's so like, it's fine. Like it was funny, but I think the older I got, I liked Moona because it was short and sweet and still,
like you.
yeah, still like very much me because it's like
Yeah.
tied to my last name and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just something different.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I really like it.
Yeah,
It
me
fits you
too.
so well. Yeah. Okay, so going back to like you talking about like you studied graphic design at uni and you just recently graduated, is that right?
Yes,
yeah, like tell me more.
December.
Tell me more about that. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. Honestly, I feel like graduating, as much of like a tick in the box as it was, it didn't feel that exponential to me. Even though like it's such a privilege to be able to like go to uni and do all that, but sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I feel like everything I learned at uni, I could have taught myself in our industry for sure. Like for other things, like medicine or law or stuff like that, engineering, like you cannot self-teach that, you know, stuff like that. Uni was super helpful in other ways. Like I met people I wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yeah.
I got opportunities. I went to Korea because
Oh, really?
yeah,
That's strange.
I volunteered. No, I volunteered
right.
at a conference. With one of my teachers was like part of the staff of that conference.
Yeah.
So she told us about it, and like that never would have happened if I wasn't in like there at the right time.
Yeah.
But like as for technical skills wise, I still feel very like I'm not good enough to be like a corporate graphic designer.
Okay.
Like my Adobe skills aren't maybe as strong as somebody else's who's maybe self-taught. Yeah, I love school though, so I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
But yeah, I don't know how to feel like about it.
Yeah. Okay. So you did graphic design. Was it majoring in UX?
Minoring in UX.
Minoring in UX.
My UX, like I feel like I have so much to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's also like the degree I did a Bachelor of Design.
Yeah.
And it was so good because it's like you can do so many aspects of design, but at the same time, I wish I spent more time doing graphics, but they didn't offer that. I only did it for like 3 or 4 semesters out of like the 4 years that I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still good though. Like,
that's good.
Yeah.
Do you think you would go into corporate and find a job in corporate?
I would like to try it, but at the same time, if I like have the opportunity to make my art stuff full time, I would definitely prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. So you're not doing art full time right now?
No.
What are you doing right now with your art?
Yeah, so basically I treat it like part-time because I also work part-time. I work like casual part-time.
Where do you work?
I was going to say, am I allowed to say that?
Oh, you are. You are. Whatever you want to share.
Yeah. Yeah, I work at a company called Fluff. And it's like a design-based fairy floss company. That's
so interesting. Yeah.
No, when I tell people I work in a fairy floss company, they're like, "What? Like at a carnival?" And I'm like, "No, we're only online unless the very rare time they do a pop-up."
That's so interesting. I actually want to know why fairy floss? How fairy floss?
Yeah.
Did you ever ask?
Oh, like my boss?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nate, my boss, he's very like he's also very like, I don't want to be stuck in a boring corporate job as well. He's a very quirky person. I love Nate.
I see.
But yeah, so Fluff was like something he started for his portfolio for uni, and then
that's crazy.
Yeah, so he was like, this would be sick if it was real. And then like his parents got him like a fairy floss machine for Christmas like back in the day, and then it just kept going and he blew up on Instagram. Yeah. He did markets at first, like he was in person at first and then switched over to online, and now it's online.
Yeah.
Lots of cool companies and lots of cool people to work with.
Nice.
But,
so you work there part-time?
Yeah. So I started there as a maker. Yeah. I feel
like you made the fairy floss. Whoa.
We still do.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just posted on Instagram that they were hiring, and I was like, this would be so crazy if I applied.
Yeah.
Because like I loved the company already.
Yeah.
And I was like first year uni. Like I was like, I feel like I can learn so much being surrounded by people like Nate. And I did like learn so much. A lot of my art stuff, I feel like every time I was at work, I was like, I wish I could like do something cool, and he'd be like, just do it then. And I'd be like, okay, but what? Like, I'm scared, and he'd be like, no, just do it. And then I a lot of the things I've done, I feel like Nate really like
encouraged you.
Yeah, and same with like my family and stuff. I'm so grateful to have like parents that are like okay with me trying and exploring new things. Yeah. I feel like I've just been very blessed with the people that I've been surrounded by. But anyways, and then I got accepted, and then made a lot of fairy floss for a very long time. Lots of yummy flavors. Yeah, and I'm still there. Yeah, but we'll see where the future takes us.
Yeah. Okay. So you work there 2-3 days a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly. And then it changes every now and then.
Yeah, that's fair. And then like, would you say the rest of your time
is on my art stuff?
On your art stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It was more like online, and then ever since I started doing markets, I completely stopped my online stuff.
Yeah.
But I think going forward, I want to focus on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you also have your own art market that you run as well.
My child.
Yeah.
My little project.
Yeah. How did that start?
Yeah, so it started in, honestly, I've been thinking about it for a really long time. Like early uni. Yeah. And it had a different name and everything. Like before it was Momo Art Mart, it was something else. And I'd like made the Instagram account for it and everything. But then I ended up not using that other name. And just like, because like the concept wasn't strong enough in my opinion. Yeah. I really like storytelling. So that's a lot of how like my characters and stuff start to form. But yeah, I was very, very inspired by this artist who's Mugo Bunny. I'll name drop. Yeah. But Yeah, she's a Canadian artist, and she has her own little art market in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, why don't we have things like that in Sydney?
Yeah.
And this was before I knew about Mellow or other art markets as well. But yeah, Mellow was already happening. Like,
Yeah.
I found out about them when they came to Sydney.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was thinking about my art market like before that as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was so cool to be like, oh my gosh, there's already like, it already exists. Like, people do know about it, and now it's just time to like do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you can never have too many QR markets, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it started off really small. I was really like, I don't know if this will work. Like, I don't know if people will be into it. So I did like a little poll on my story being like, does anyone want a table one day? And then people were really enthusiastic about it. Yeah, and we started off really small. It was like a tiny little warehouse in Redfern. We had like 30 artists, which felt so much at the time. But yeah, it was only the beginning.
Wow. And that was how many years ago?
Just over a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So October was our first year anniversary. So
Oh, okay.
it was October 2023.
Yeah.
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 So we did one in October, and then we went a little bit bigger in February.
Yeah.
And then a little bit bigger again in August.
Yeah.
And that was
The last one. Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize how new Momo is. Okay. And so ever since you started, compared to now, what are like some major learnings you've had?
So much learning.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my art stuff, I did learn, but the market stuff, like hosting and organizing, is so much more learning. It's a lot of like, a lot of people are relying on you, so you have to force yourself to be as good as possible for them.
Yeah.
Which I loved. I love like, yeah, that's something else that I've like learned, that I really enjoy event hosting and planning, which I never even thought about because I was so like design, graphics, illustration.
Yeah.
But I found something that is also still connected to art, but so different at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every market I do, I learn so much.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna nail the next one, and it's definitely better, but there's still so much to improve on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So what did you learn from the last one that you hosted, and what are you going to implement for the next one?
Do you want me to tell you like from like what I learned from the first, and then like
Sure, go for it.
Basically, like there's so many takeaways, but like my first one, I underestimated how many people were going to show up, mainly because I fully didn't believe in myself. I was like, yeah, we'll have like 100 people, whatever. And then like 500, 600 people showed up in the whole day. And I got in a little bit of trouble with the venue because like, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I told them based on what I thought. And then they were like, too many people. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, it's a good problem to have. But I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, and the first one, like my friends were helping me out, which was so exhausting for them because it was like the 5 of us the whole day.
Yeah.
And then, so I was like, okay, manage my people better and have volunteers or other people helping for the next one because I don't want to like burden my friends like that. Yeah, and then the next one was in Marrickville, and we thought we'd get like 1,000 people, which is like double of the first one, but we ended up getting like 2,500, almost 3,000 people over the 2 days.
Yeah.
So the first one was only 1 day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had way more volunteers. My dad came and helped in the second one, which is really nice of him. In the second one, I was like, okay, that worked better. Like 2 days is good because the artists aren't rushed.
Yeah.
And like there was a lot more people helping me, which is really nice. But we like fully outgrew that venue.
Yeah.
And also like that venue had no like AC and stuff like that, and people were really warm.
It was really hot. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was something I learned. I was like, okay, a lot of people are gonna get warm.
Yeah.
Like it's obvious, but you don't think about it until
it happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yes, we had like fans and whatever, but it was so hot.
Yeah.
And it was also a little bit far and out of the way and not like, even I had to like change a train to get there. So
You live really far though,
Really
by the
far.
way, just letting you know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just where my family chooses to live, so it's okay.
That's so fair.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the next one, I was like, no, it has to be in the city so everyone can get there. It has to have aircon.
Yeah.
And it has to be a little bit bigger because people seem to really enjoy it, which is so nice because it's my little dream that kept growing, you know? For the third one, we reached out to brands just to work with them. Like Happy Cup was there with us and it was so fun. Third one, it was very interesting because we went like a little bit viral on Xiaohongshu, like the Chinese Red Book app.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, how did that? Someone must have put you on
Yeah.
there.
So I'm really good friends with this wonderful lady named Nicole.
Okay.
She owns a stationery shop in Sheffield.
Okay.
It's called Caramel. You guys should go.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever been, but she was like, I'm just going to post about it on Xiaohongshu. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then she posted about it. And then, she owns that shop. So a lot of people like follow her on there. And then other people like posted about it. But then those people like came on Saturday. And because it's a 2-day event now, they posted about it on Saturday. And then like we got so many people on Sunday being like, are you guys open tomorrow? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, we're not. And then that was really scary because like we weren't expecting that many walk-ins. Like it was based off of our like, I plan based off of like ticket sales.
Yes.
Like, and then we weren't expecting that many walk-ins, and we got so many people like in the last like 2 hours when I was trying to let people leave so we could start packing down.
Yeah.
So that was very scary. Not scary in a bad way though.
Yeah,
it was scary in a, oh my gosh, what's going on?
I did not plan for this. Like so much is going on.
So it's like I could not have predicted that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're always like taking new things into consideration.
Yeah.
And then every new market that I do, it's like now I have all these things in my mind that I can like take on to the next one.
Yeah. That's so cool.
So each market has its own set of challenges.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
They're super fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, props to you for like organizing an entire market by yourself. You know?
I do have a lot of help with like my friends and my family and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So for people who have no idea what it's like prepping for a market, like being the host of an event, what are some behind the scene things that you need to do that like people might not think of?
I think I have a little bit easier planning because I've also been on the other side. Like I've been an artist tabling and I've also been attending like Smash and like other big artist alleys. So that was very helpful because I can like picture myself on the other side and then work accordingly. Like a lot of people don't think about like table space. I didn't for the first market. It was the table space was like really squishy because it was like it's just something you have to like keep thinking about. And also it helps that I'm an artist, so I'm friends with a lot of other artists who can like talk about it and hopefully have a good time, and then like the word spreads because there is that level of like personal trust. Which maybe like someone who's just hosting wouldn't necessarily have. It's that like person to person relationship. Or artist to artist. Is probably better. I also I never wanted to be this like corporate thing. Like I always wanted to be like a cute, cozy, like so I have to plan in a way that maintains what I want it to be. And like the brands that I want to work with or have worked with in the past, I want it to stay with a similar like interest and playing field. Everything else is just a lot of like writing stuff down and not forgetting names. Which I've done.
That's so fair.
But I'm just a person.
That's so fair. That's so fair.
I still feel terrible every time it happens.
How far in advance do you usually plan for Momo? And like roughly each month, like what are some like checklists that you need to get done?
So when I first started, I was really ambitious. I was like, I'm going to do like 3 or 4 in a year. But then when you actually start doing it, you're like, no. Especially, I feel like I hold myself to a standard that like I could do more in a year, but then they wouldn't each be as good. And I'd rather them be good than more frequent. Yeah, it takes about 6 months to plan one. Sometimes a bit longer.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be better with planning. Like I wish I had the next one planned already, but I don't. It's very like as soon as one ends, the next one begins. But I'm trying to be better about it.
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot easier on myself if they were planned like more in advance, more than 6 months.
Yeah.
But 6 months at least gives me a good, like, I feel comfortable to make this happen for everyone. I feel like the first few months are the craziest, and in the middle it mellows out, and then the last like month or two are also the craziest.
Yeah.
The first month is very like, I like having a theme for every event.
Yeah.
Because it's more entertaining for me, but also the artists have so much fun like making art fit the theme.
Yeah.
And then we can do like stamp rallies and stuff associated with the theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming up with the theme that fits into my universe is like, what I do in like the first month. Pick a theme, pick a concept, make like a storyline that fits into like Peachville, my little town.
So cute.
Yeah. Yeah, just thinking about the logistics, potential, like, I like making special merch for every single event.
Yeah.
So merch ideas. Yeah, and then because we've only had like 3 events, it's been very hopping around venues to see what works for us. But I really like the Sydney Town Hall. I think it's a good size and a good location.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're keeping it the same for our next one.
Nice.
But otherwise, that month would be like venue research, finding venues, talking to them. In the second month, I would like put out my application forms and then leave a month for people to apply, or like 3-ish weeks for people to apply. So I'm not like actively doing anything in that time. It's more like letting the artists build their portfolios and like, yeah, my market's curated. It's not first come, first serve, which in my opinion, is really fun for attendees because they get this like cool experience.
Yeah.
Making the merch takes a really long time because I'm also drawing everything.
Yeah.
And then like the back and forth with like manufacturers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. And honestly, the time like flies.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe there's only 3 months left till the next one.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't done anything.
No way. But, what do you have left to do for the next one?
I want to make really cool merch.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing right now as well. The map's going to come out soon, so everyone will see what the map looks like.
Exciting.
Yeah, honestly, like drawing all the graphics takes time as well because I'm also doing all that. We have some cool collabs coming with people. That's all I'll say for now.
Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it just takes time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I give myself a little bit of leeway as well because if I leave it too close, I do tend to burn out.
Yeah.
So I need like a day where I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
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 It's a lot of pressure sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're doing so much. Like you have your part-time job.
Yeah.
And you have your own art store as well. And you have your art market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really fun for me, so I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Or maybe if you like move to art full-time,
hopefully
you'll have more capacity. Yeah.
That is the dream. I feel like that's always the dream.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of like how you might shift towards that?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Like, I think I will eventually leave my part-time job because that's like the thing that's easiest to like not
Let
go
go
to.
of. Yes.
Yeah. I think I will always like keep the people that I've met at my job forever, but it's okay if I'm not working there, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I'd work a little bit more on the market as well, but I do want to work a lot more on my shop. I feel like that's been really neglected since I started Momo. Yeah, that's more for me. I feel like Momo is like, while it's definitely for me as well because I love it, it's a lot more for the community as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, I don't make the most money from it. A lot of it goes back into like the venue and like stuff like that.
Thank you for doing this
no,
for
it's
us.
so fun. Yeah, so I want to do more of my like own art and my own shop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just make them both better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Those are great goals to
Yeah.
have. Speaking of goals, do you have like any other goals for Momoona and Momo?
Maybe not necessarily for them, but they definitely tie into it as well. But I think I do want to like I want to pick up a new language and I want to like do stuff like that and maybe live in a different country for a short time.
Which one? Do you have any idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also like scared to say it because like what if it doesn't happen?
That's so okay.
But, yeah. I know friends who like did like a year in Japan and stuff like that, and like friends who did like time in Korea and stuff like that. So I think I'd love to do that. Yeah, I think the Asian art scene is super inspiring for me.
Yeah,
I'd love to live in Korea for a little while just to like see more of their art scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went in December and honestly it was so inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I came back and I was like, there's so much more I could be doing with my art.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think since I graduated uni, sometimes I get a bit too focused on like Sydney and like our art community and also like, so I think learning a new language or doing other stuff like that is a good way to like
branch out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not be like in a bubble.
Stuck in a bubble for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to see you do that.
Yeah, I really want to.
Yeah, you will probably inspire like a lot of other people as well to like go branch out and like live in a different country, which is scary. Yeah.
It is scary, but I think it's so like it defines you as a person more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And again, like I'm super grateful that my parents are very like if it's good and beneficial to you, go for it.
That's so nice. Very open-minded of them. Yeah. Okay, so going back, because you mentioned before that there was an artist that you were really inspired by. So what was their name again?
Which one? Like Mugo Bunny?
Yeah, Mugo Bunny. Yeah. Like what are some other inspirations that you draw from for your own art?
Yeah. Like growing up, I loved a lot of YouTuber artists. People like Furry Little Peach. She's also a Sydney-based artist. There's a lot of American ones actually that I really enjoy. There's this artist called Tiffany Wang.
Okay.
And she's very like posts her projects and her everyday like studio life and I loved watching content like that. It was super inspiring. Oh, I love Jisubi. She was one of my earlier favorite artists as well. Yeah. It was always like Jisoo and Sean, like for a Little Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I met both of them was like a turning point in my life.
They would be so happy to hear that.
Yeah, now like I table with like Jisoo and stuff all the time.
Yeah, and they table at Momo.
Yeah, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
It was so full circle.
Yeah. I love that for you. You talked about really enjoying storytelling and you incorporate that a lot into your art and into Peachville.
Yeah.
What are some other guiding principles that you have when you're making art?
So I think before I had like Momo and Peachful and stuff, because I always enjoyed like writing and reading stories and making art, but I didn't really combine them like that.
Yeah.
But I'd always enjoyed art that made you feel not childish, but like it's okay to like things that aren't like so serious.
Yeah.
I think growing up, like I was very like, if your art isn't like realistic enough, it's not like real, like it's very childish. But then the older I got, my mentality completely switched and it's like art is what makes you happy. Art is how you feel and that's okay.
That.
Yeah. And I think writing stories and incorporating that into your art just makes it so much easier to like express how you feel. Yeah. So I think now I'm like super comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Whereas before I wasn't.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah. And that kind of, I guess, touches on the topic of like your style. How do you feel like your style has evolved and like how did you find your current style? And are you comfortable with it, or is there something else that you want to change about it?
Yeah, my art has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like growing up, like my really old sketchbooks, it's very like graphite, pencil, people sketches, like faces and stuff like that. And
that's where we all start off, I guess.
Yeah. But it was very like I'd look at a person's picture and then I'd draw it exactly how I saw it. There was no like stylization.
Yeah.
There was, but like just not as much as there is now.
Yeah, like not as intentional.
Yeah. Yeah, because my dad, like I love him and he's so supportive, but he's very like everything must be perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
Like proportions and stuff like that. He was always like, no, that eye's a little bit off, or like la la la.
Wow.
And it's easier to like fix it when everything's like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at a reference and you draw exactly what you see, and then it's easier to make it proportioned if it looks like that, because you're not like guessing stylization and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had formally studied like figure drawing or like stuff like that, it would be a bit easier for me to stylize it. But I didn't do that. Yeah, I feel like my art style is very self-taught. So at one point, I just had to be like, okay, it's gonna look a little bit like off-centered, but I like it how it looks like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I ran with it, and then I think when you start taking it more seriously and it does like make you a little bit of money, your parents are kind of like, okay, well if it's working, whatever. Yeah. I feel like my style has changed a lot, even like over the past year.
Yeah.
Like my drawings change a lot.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
I've come to accept it.
Okay. So what would you say is your style now? Because I remember some of your art, there were more like flat ones, and then you have some that was more textured, like with painting and stuff. Yeah.
So I really enjoy textures. Like I play a lot with like pencil textures.
Okay.
And stuff like that. The painting one was like the last Momo theme. I was like, why not? Like let's make it an art theme. I think Momo pushes me a lot to play with my style as well, because I can just be playful with it, and it's only for like a 6-month period, and then I can change it if I want to.
Yeah.
It's not like stuck to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll experiment, and then if I like it, I'll keep it for a while.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I see.
But pencil textures have stuck for a very long time.
Okay.
Yeah. I did Inktober like a few years ago where it was pencil textures. And I was like, actually, I like this.
Ooh.
And then I stuck with it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like being consistent throughout your art. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I always love hearing about like people's like journey with like their style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's nice to hear. What has been some struggles for you as an artist, if you had any? Yeah.
I think a lot of it is like internal battles. Like my family is super high achieving.
Okay.
So not that it's not a good thing or a bad thing. Like
it just is.
It just is. Yeah. Like my dad's like a PhD graduate and like very corporate, and like same with like my brother. He's very like, this is what I want and this is what I'm gonna do. So sometimes I have to be like, I definitely want to go into a creative field, but there's always that internal battle. Also like Asian families, there's like that pressure as well. And I always have to be like, can I sustain this? Like, is it good enough? But then, yeah, it's a lot of just self like talk and being like, just try it. Like, if it doesn't work, like now is the time for it not to work, because you can easily switch. Yeah. But I think it will work if you believe in it like enough. Yeah. You just have to get past that initial like self-doubt. I feel like my skills, I struggle with that, because like I said, like I don't think I'm as strong in like my Adobe skills or like my like technical graphic design skills. And in uni I would look at other people's work and I'd be like, theirs is so much better than mine. But it's just it's so like in my head, like you just have to get past it, because your work is good enough in its own way. And there's room for everyone has an audience. And if you put it out there enough, like you'll be fine. So it's definitely a mental thing, I think.
Okay. Well, from my perspective, you were doing so well, especially like considering how young you are.
Thank you.
So I think you are an inspiration to a lot of people out there. So
thank you. I have to I have
remind
to allow
yourself.
myself to accept it
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and going back to the whole like believing in the things that you can achieve. Like I remember talking to someone, and they were saying like the most successful people out there are just the ones who are like a bit delusional and like have this like absolute blind faith in themselves, and that blind faith has like carried them so far and like brought the success to them. So just gotta be a bit delulu.
No, I fully agree, because like some of my projects that like did well, I think back to them and I'm like, there's no way, like if I was like really thinking about it, like in hindsight, seeing everything that like went wrong, I would never do that in the first place, but I did, and then it turned out okay. I was so delusional, but it turned out okay. So I just have to keep that energy. Like that pop-up we did in Parramatta, right? Like when we did it, they were like, I don't know if we're legally allowed to do this, and I was like, anyways, and then like we just did it, but now I'm like, I would never do that.
It's almost like ignorance is bliss. It doesn't hold you back.
No, for sure.
Do whatever you want.
Or if someone had told me like in the first moment, it's not that deep because it's like one day, but like if you don't do this well enough, they're not going to make money. And maybe this money is helping them to go towards their rent or their food. For the first one, like that's so much pressure. Now I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Like I feel confident that I can like make a good event. But the first one, like looking back, I'm like, how did you do that?
I know.
It's so scary when money's involved like that. But you just do it, and then sometimes it turns out okay.
And sounds like everything's turning out really well for you. So that's awesome.
I'm grateful.
Okay, well, I have one last question. Tell me about yourself outside of art. Who are you?
I think that's a difficult question. Because like sometimes you like work and then you do art as a hobby, and that's who you are outside of your job. But for us, it's like everything's to do with art, isn't it?
Well, you told me that you have two brothers, and you mentioned how sweet the youngest one is. And
they're both really sweet.
And
the youngest one is exceptionally sweet.
He comes and helps you at markets a lot.
Yeah.
So sweet when you told me that like he was worried about you going to Brisbane for Toasty.
He wasn't worried. He was like, why can't I come with you?
Aww, that is so cute. After like put a gun to my brother's head. Come do markets for me.
Like my family situation is super, like I'm so grateful for it.
Oh, I love that. And then tell me more about your fiance.
This is really shy. But we're childhood like really good friends.
So
our families like grew up together as well. The older we got, we were like, we're pretty good with each other.
And he's overseas.
He's overseas, but he wants to come here and like do his masters and work here. So he's also super like supportive of like my art stuff as well, which is really nice. He's always like, that's so sick. And so hopefully in future markets he'll be around to help as well.
That will be awesome. I would love to meet him. Do you guys have like a wedding date planned?
Not really. It's a bit complicated because it depends on a lot of things. It depends on like visa's really difficult in countries that aren't like the Western countries. So I'm super like content with life right now as well. So like it's whatever happens will happen when it's meant to.
Oh, I love that. And sorry, which country is he in right now?
Pakistan.
And that's where you were born as well.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that you are religious. So can you tell me more about that?
So I'm Muslim, obviously. And I've been Muslim since I was born because my family is. It's a super ingrained part of me, but so I don't really question it. Question it in the sense where like,
why? Like why?
No, I definitely did.
Oh, okay.
Like growing up, I was like, my parents would like say something and I'd be like, why? And they'd be like, they'd answer my questions. And I think that's what I'm really grateful for, because now that I'm older, I don't question it, because everything that I wanted to know, I got told. Like, I was never hit with the, like, I don't know, like, it just is what it is. Like, like my parents are super I think it helps that they're very like educated in their belief as well. Like it's not just blind following. Like they had really good teachers, and I think that's also where my storytelling stuff comes from, because my dad was very like, everything was always a story. Like everything was always like told very, I would never lose interest. Yeah, I don't know how to like word that, but
That's
it would always be like something that I wanted to hear about. It was never like pushed or so I really don't associate it with negatively. That being said, like we do live in Australia. I feel like it would be a lot easier if I lived in like Pakistan or something like that. But it also has a positive side where, because I live here, I have to be strong in my own beliefs and not be swayed that much.
I was going to ask, like, when did you start wearing your headscarf?
So in like primary school, it was very on and off. Like, but then in high school, I started wearing it more. And it's really funny because I used to wear like the pull-on ones because I didn't know how to like style it properly. And when I got older, I'd be embarrassed to wear the pull-on ones because it's like childish. And then every day before school, my mom would like put the pins in and stuff for me because I just didn't know how to. But then the older I got, I was like, actually, I can do this by myself. So
nice.
It's like I'm like very proud to wear it. And I dress it up and wear my
so
cute little accessories.
I love your clips.
Which ties in my art stuff as well. So,
how does it tie in with your art stuff?
Oh my gosh. It gives me an excuse to like buy more accessories.
Oh yes.
No, I go to like markets and I'm like, this is a really cute bag pin. I can wear it on my scarf. But just stuff like that. It's playful on the outside, but very meaningful and deep on the inside. It keeps me grounded, I think.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing about that. And that's the end of our interview. Thank you so much for coming onto Grain by Grain Artist Stories.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
It was such a pleasure. I loved talking to you. And I'm sure everyone will love to hear your story as well.
Thank you.
Yay!